Okay, my friends of the Co-Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, Alleluia! Stop. It's over. Last day for that. Ash Wednesday tomorrow. Rain, snow, wind, blizzard, oh my goodness. We hope to see you one way or the other, somehow. But I understand. I just got a message that probably this is closing school day, Ash Wednesday. I don't think it's a final word, but it seems to be quite certain. Yeah, another blizzard on Ash Wednesday. I think Megan was telling me this morning in 2023 we had this, which I hardly remember, but I believe her. So I have a whole bunch of notes today because I have a pile of things. So I'm sorry. I usually like just to talk to you, not read to you. But these are all important factors for our well-being and for our Lenten journey. And for the gift of Pope Francis, we beg for healing, for the medical team, for all of what's happening in this 88-year-old who has such stamina. But it's certainly been a rocky road, and we just beg. So the first thing is his message, Pope Francis, about Lent, which starts tomorrow and the weekend. So first of all, to journey, Pope Francis says, the Jubilee motto, so the Jubilee year, which is already opened, and you remember that from the cross that was presented behind the ambo, and that's why it's there, because it's announcing this Jubilee year, Pilgrims of Hope. So he says, he reminds us of the book of Exodus. This arduous path from slavery to freedom was willed and guided by the Lord, who loves his people and remains ever faithful to them. And he's suggesting you can't help but think about moving from slavery to freedom, about immigrants, about refugee resettlement. It's been so complex. Catholic Charities has lost thousands of dollars with the freeze. And, we're in a very perplexed time about so many factors. And that's what he is saying about being a pilgrim people. We're on a journey. Mary Vlasling was sharing with us today, Laudate Se, and then also the gift of praising God, Laudate Deum, for the creation and the need we have. And she will be coming to us with more factors about pilgrimages in reference to the environment, to the planet. The planet's burning up. So this call to be a pilgrim and have consciousness together about prayer and begging, which our staff has been talking about. And that's another point, people say, oh, you're retiring. Oh my. And I say, not really. I mean, yes, it's going to be a change. But when you think of the staff we have, I guarantee you, everything will go on even more because they are unbelievable in their consciousness about the needs of the church and the world. So Francis is saying, in Lent, a first call to conversion thus comes from the realization that all of us are pilgrims in this life. Each of us is invited to stop and ask how our lives reflect this fact. Am I really on a journey, or am I standing still? Are you standing still? Not moving, either immobilized by fear and hopelessness, reluctant to move out of my comfort zone. So here's Francis. Of course, he wrote this before he was in the hospital, but he's really asking on this being a pilgrim that we have a real conviction not to stand still, to be bored, to be like hopeless, to be filled with fear, but to say there is so much more. I want to move on to some other things, and if you're just joining this, I mentioned there's just a lot. So the indulgences, and so I encourage you, there's a wonderful pamphlet created by our staff, the Co-Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist, Pilgrims of Hope 2025. So we were kind of waiting for the diocese and they were a bit late. So our staff put this together. How may you obtain an indulgence here? So there's not the doors that we enter that happened in the year of mercy or in many over the years designated like when there was the year on Paul. But this is a little different. And I think instead of me trying to sum this up, this is a wonderful trifold, a folder about indulgence that I would encourage you to pick this up when you come to Mass. You know, and indulgences are not something that we're so familiar with, but it's a grace, it's a gift, it's a way to renounce my sin and to step forward as a pilgrim to receive new life. Prayer, sacrament of reconciliation. We have the 24 hours for the Lord coming up. Beautiful opportunity to receive the sacrament of reconciliation. And then, you know, to take these other, receive communion and really take some steps for how I can be renewed. This is our main point. I mean, it's not, this indulgences, you know, is not magic. It's real. Prayer, some fasting, reconciliation, Eucharist, praying for the Holy Father. Lenten activities, there's just an abundance. And so I'm not going to go through all of them. Check the bulletin, check the webpage, see what is offered to us so that we can mature, so that we can take Lent seriously. It goes like that. All of a sudden you say, wow, I wanted to get going and now it's over. So you got to start deciding like here and now. One other piece to note is the human dignity panel. Megan was talking about this today, being over having. And there's a quote that Megan has used on the poster. We are called to adopt a lifestyle which clearly communicates the primary and the primacy of begin over having, one that makes room for the embrace of those who need us. So she was giving an example of someone who's caring for a child that's older, who has special needs, and how this has opened this person's heart, the suffering of their child, who's like 18 years old. So there's just so much that goes on in the world, and we have to keep asking ourselves, you know, how can I take a step? How can I mature myself in some new ways? Okay, I'm going through my list and I come to the Synod. So Bishop Barron went for 2 Octobers, 2 years ago, this last October, and now we're having a Synod in our diocese on vocations and evangelization. And you can go online, check the webpage, check the bulletin, because they're asking for some grassroots, for some basic participation by you to say, what is the state of the diocese? What is going on? What isn't going on? How do we, not just a moralistic kind of thing, but how do we engage to offer so that when they take and create a plan, more than a plan, a document that unfolds for vocations. We need priests badly. We need religious. Think of the beauty and grace and gift of religious women and men. And so all of what that is, and then evangelization. So Bishop Barron is leading this, and I encourage us to participate by offering what we see and how much more we would like to know. There is a page here on Jubilee 25, Pilgrims of Hope, because if you come here to the Co-Cathedral, we are designated as one of the places for a special prayer. And it has all of this outlined. I mean, our staff prepares all of this for you. Okay, I might have worn you out by this time. It's not my intention. But I do want to provoke you. I want to be a provocateur, to kind of say, wake up. What do we need to do? The crisis of the world, Gaza, Ukraine, think of Yemen, all the places, South Sudan, that has an effect on us. We have to realize, and we are privileged people. So what gets dangerous is I get satisfied. I can have my meals every day, and I've got my car and my home, but we are all interconnected with this world, this planet that cries out for attention, the environment. And this is part of what it means to be on a journey. Pilgrims of Hope, you can pick this up also. I read a little bit for this 2025 Jubilee year. Father in heaven, may the faith you have given us in your Son, Jesus Christ, our brother, and the flame of charity enkindled in your hearts by the Holy Spirit, reawaken in us the blessed hope. Oh, do we need hope for the coming of your kingdom. May your grace transform us into tireless cultivators of the seeds of the gospel. May those seeds transform from within both humanity and the whole cosmos in the sure expectation of a new heaven and a new earth. You know, when I mentioned about religious women, the Franciscans at Rochester, have provided a wonderful sheet to help us with our undocumented sisters and brothers, so they know, how to react, how to respond when they are approached. So all of this comes together. I am not hopeless, but I want to be true. And I want for us as a community of the Co-Cathedral, and you are, walking as pilgrims with conviction, with the promise of new life, and all of the possibilities there are for us. And we beg every blessing in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Have you decided yet how you're going to walk pilgrim in Lent? You better hurry up.